Well, the Prime Minister is currently in Assam, and we're learning that there are fresh shots coming in of the Prime Minister on your screens at the moment. This is the Prime Minister in Assam. Remember that he's all set to inaugurate several infrastructure projects in Assam, including the Kaziranga Elevated Project is what is on cards for him. Important to understand that Assam hits polls this year, so this is an important visit of the Prime Minister coming in. The visit is marking a major infrastructure boost for Assam, marking the Northeast's golden era coming back once again. Well, important visit for the Prime Minister, as the Prime Minister is all set to perform the Bhumi Pujan for the Kaziranga Elevated Corridor project today. Now, this will take place in the Nagaon district and marks the launch of an ambitious national highway initiative. Well, the cost of the project is said to be around 6,950 crores and is set to transform connectivity through Assam's renowned Kaziranga National Park. Well, what's really important about this project is the fact that it is a blend of ecology as well as development, given the fact that it's also keeping in light that many animals were killed while people were in transit from one part of the national park to the other. This also allows for faster transport routes for tea hubs and in fact is expected to create about 35 lakh employment. Well, the project, like I mentioned, is about 6,950 crores. Those are visuals of the Prime Minister there on your screens at the moment. These are live visuals coming in from Assam of the Prime Minister, where he seems to be inspecting the project, which is, of course, with regards to the Kaziranga Elevated Corridor. Well, important visit for the Prime Minister coming in at this hour. This is the visit of the Prime Minister to Assam. Remember that this is day 2 of his visit to Assam. He was also in West Bengal. Now, what's important to understand is that the corridor's Bhumi Pujan will take place today. We also have my colleague Ratnadeep joining us on the broadcast. Ratnadeep, walk us through the details. What exactly does the Prime Minister's schedule look like in Assam?
Well, this is a very crucial visit of the Prime Minister in Assam, a 2-day visit which started yesterday with the performance of 10,000 Bodo dancers to the tunes of the Bagrumba dance, which the Prime Minister enjoyed last evening at the Horu Hozai Stadium in Guwahati. And today, the Prime Minister, short while back, landed at Koliabor in Nagaon district of Assam, where there is a massive public rally which is taking place. Close to 1 lakh people present here. And in fact, the Prime Minister is going to lay the foundation stone of a very key project that is to build an elevated corridor on a stretch of 35-kilometer route between Koliabor in Nagaon district to Bokakhat in Golaghat district of Assam, all along the Kaziranga National Park, of Assam. And now this is a very important project because this elevated corridor will not only reduce the travel time between the Golaghat, Jorhat, which is a very important center in Upper Assam, to Guwahati, but also reduce the incidence of basically collision between animals and speeding vehicles on the National Highway 715 that runs parallelly with the Kaziranga National Park. So this is a very important event which is taking place. The foundation stone laying off the project worth 6,950 crores, and most importantly, the Prime Minister is also virtually going to flag off 2 Amrit Bharat trains that Assam has got now, and this all is taking place when Assam is going to go for polls in another 2 months' time.
Right, Ratnadeep, because you mentioned that Assam is going to polls in another, of course, next 2 months. I also wish to understand, how exactly is the Prime Minister's visit impacting that? How is exactly the politics shaping on ground?
When it comes to the BJP, the BJP really pushing this elections on the plank of development, the fast-track development. In fact, if you look at this particular project itself, now what the BJP is saying that it is not mindless development but sustained development, which the party is looking at, where in this project you have infrastructure push, which balances animal conservation as well. And on the other hand, remember even yesterday, in his address, the Prime Minister spoke about the illegal infiltration issue in Assam and how the Himanta Biswa Sharma-led government had actually acted against encroachers who have encroached upon government land in Assam, a series of eviction to take back the encroached land from the illegal immigrants, which is a main narrative of the BJP as it tries to retain power in Assam for the 3rd straight term.
Right, and I also wish to understand from you, Ratnedev, you said something very interesting, that this project is a blend of development and ecology. Walk us through what exactly that means.
Well, if you look at this particular project, and we at NDTV, we have aired a special story where we explain through a drive-through on that 35-kilometer stretch between Goliabor in Nagaon, where the Prime Minister is here at this moment, to Pokaghat in Golaghat district. Now, this 35-kilometer stretch actually is of the National Highway 715 is actually along the Kaziranga National Park, and at this moment this is a two-lane highway, which is a very busy highway. It links Upper Assam region to Guwahati and beyond, and not only Assam, it is a very important link to parts of Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. Now, on this busy highway, one has to ply on this 35 kilometer with a lot of caution, and maintaining the speed limit of 40 kilometers per hour to avoid any collision with animal. Having said that, in the last 5 years, no less than 85 animals, that includes the one-horned rhino that the Kaziranga is famous for, the tigers. Remember, Kaziranga is also a fledgling tiger reserve, and not to forget, elephant, deer, the animals which are very important. They have been hit, particularly during floods. Remember, during floods, when Kaziranga gets flooded, when the fact that it is next to the Brahmaputra River, the animals cross over national highway to move to higher grounds, and that's when the accidents takes place. Now, this elevated corridor would reduce this kind of accidents, and also it will reduce the travel time between two important centers in Assam, particularly Jorhat and Guwahati.